Hey everyone, it's Jessica at Pretty Prints and Paper. Today I am going to show you how I'm going to make a Mother's Day card using some awesome supplies that Tombow was so generous to send me and some stuff that I have from Michaels. First, you're going to want to get any kind of watercolor palette. I am using a Michaels Artist Loft palette. I'm using Artist Loft watercolor paper. I'm using this brush in that Artist Loft set. It's the number 4 brush, using the HB Tombow pencil and their soft tip brush pen. I'm using some painter's tape to keep the paper flat, a glue stick from Tombow, and just a jar of water. So let's get started. The first thing I do when I'm making this card is I'm going to fold it in half so I can see what the frame is for the front of the card. And to make sure that the watercolor stays in a really nice and neat frame, I'm going to use some painter's tape to tape down the edges of the card down onto my work surface. I press down really hard on the edges of the tape so that water doesn't sneak in underneath and mess up my clean line. I've used washi tape before, but I think the painter's tape works pretty well. Now the first thing that you want to do is sketch a heart shape around where you want to be doing your lettering. I'm doing it in the middle, but of course you can vary it by putting it down in the corner or something like that. And then you start getting some water into the paint. Now, something that you should know is that there's 2 ways you could do this. You could do it the way that I'm doing and doing the paint around the heart, or what you could do is paint on the whole entire card and then cut out a separate heart shape to glue on top with that Tombow paint glue stick that I have in the frame there. In this video, I will be using this technique where I go around the heart rather than cutting out a new piece. So you'll notice I picked kind of one color that I'm going to be using for my main part of the stripes and using this to start off with. There's not really a science to this. I'm just varying the number of lines there are, the lengths of the line, and remembering to work around the heart shape. If you get watercolor on top of the pencil line, it actually gets really difficult to erase. So I encourage you to be really diligent with staying around that pencil line. Once you are done laying down that first color, just start filling in some other lines with the additional colors. That'll add that visual intrigue, the texture, and if you want to wait to have the watercolor dry, it adds a really cool layering effect. I tend to be pretty impatient, so I just watercolor right on top of it. And the only thing you have to worry about there is making sure that if there's really wet spots on the card, sometimes the colors will run together, so you might want to use a paper towel and pick up some of the excess water as you go along. Once you're done with that painting part, I use this Tombow HB pencil to sketch in what my words are going to be on this card. This particular card I am sketching in Happy Mother's Day, and I want the focus of the lettering to be the word mother. So I sketch that first to make sure that that is positioned the way that I want it to and at the larger size before I sketch in the other words. To fill in the final ink version of my lettering, I am using a Tombow soft tip brush pen as a generous gift from Tombow USA, and I am just going over the pencil, doing some tiny tweaks to fill in that white space of the heart a little bit better. Once that dries a little bit, I just grab an eraser and just start erasing those pencil lines. And so I can reveal kind of the polished, finished product without any of the pencil, and it looks like I've done it all by myself the first time. Once your eraser lines are done, you can go ahead and peel that tape off to reveal your final card. Of course, you can do this for any holiday besides Mother's Day, and I think that they would enjoy that. I'll do some tutorials in the future, so stay tuned. If you liked it, please share, subscribe, but most of all, I hope that you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.